Morning. We've travelled over from London just over the weekend gone, as you could probably tell. We're really privileged to be here at MakerCon, so thank you.
I'm Josh. I'm a designer at OpenDesk, a platform for local making. So let's talk you through it.
If we can get it going.
This is another reoccurrence of the same. There we go. So while this store may seem like little more than an inconspicuous child's play toy, it actually represents something far more significant. A shift in the way that we design, manufacture, and consume products. The ED store was designed by London-based designer and OpenDesk co-founder Johnny Steiner a little over 2 years ago. And through OpenDesk, it has reached users in over 100 countries. Like any other products on OpenDesk, this little store actually exists as a digital file, which can be downloaded anywhere in the world and made locally to a customer by digital manufacturing tools. We ship files, not objects.
Now, this light bulb moment happened when our co-founders, whilst working in an architecture firm, were asked to replicate the furniture in a development agency's London office with their New York one. So that's where the idea came from, really. Could we create an online platform that challenged conventional mass-produced distribution to then become a local economic reality?
And we have really been building on this idea, and we're currently hosting designs from some 20 designers with a network of 400 makers, allowing us to distribute manufacturing to 32 countries. Our aim is to introduce a marketplace by fall 2015. Our network of 20 designers will soon increase to 300 and continue to grow. OpenDesk promises designers global distribution of their name and product under their own terms and fees via the Creative Commons licensing system. Makers can realize underutilized capacity and play a far more prominent role in transactions with customers in their local community. Customers will have access to an extensive library of products designed around the world, which can be made locally to them. So customers will receive high-quality products which can be tailored to them whilst they directly contribute to their local economy. So consumers will soon face a choice. Choose between products which are designed by an elite group of designers, manufactured where land and labor is cheapest and shipped large distances, or choose OpenDesk, where customers are invited to engage in a pioneering social experience where they play an integral role in how and where their product is made.
Now, whilst the development of the platform has been going on behind the scenes, we've been focusing our business model on workspace furniture. Now, in the UK, that's valued at just over $1 billion, but the real attractive starting point with workspace furniture was our ability to send makers larger orders in terms of value and quantity. In turn, we could also evaluate the quality coming out of a more select pool of makers, and in addition to that, we could reference how each and every maker works in slightly different ways. That data is directly ported across to the platform to make it far more relevant for when we do release it later this year. Importantly, though, this is working. In 2014, we generated turnover of $400,000, 300,000 of those paid directly to designers and local makers. We've also worked with some fantastic brands and big-name organizations, such as Cano and Greenpeace. But our commitment remains the platform, and delivering that platform and building a marketplace that truly challenges traditional mass-produced distribution methods. Considering our platform isn't even live yet, the community that we have is staggering. In a single day, we have over 180 countries visit our website. On top of that, our network of designers and local makers has continually grown to now represent over 1,000. Yeah, sorry, Josh.
So, as Jack was saying, this little store, like so many products on OpenDesk, has already reached a staggering audience. And the studio section shown here on our website has, for community-led curation of future products, is now approaching some 20,000 likes. Our most popular product, the Lean Desk, has been downloaded and built some 12,000 times across the globe, demonstrating the viability of digitally distributed hardware. With 500,000 visits to our website in 2014, we are on track to double that number in 2015. Our sales are on track for $2 million this year, not taking into account sales from the platform. But the platform release will happen this fall, and with it, the possibilities of unlocking a third industrial revolution.
And that's just it. It doesn't stop with CNC machining. Digital fabrication technologies are threatening supply chains by becoming more and more accessible in terms of price and required operator skill. These new technologies can be introduced to our platform. On top of that, a whole new host of designers and local makers, all feeding our vision, designed everywhere, made here. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Jack. Thank you, Josh. Questions from our judges? Anything that's going to help you give some peace of mind on this particular product?
Yeah, so particularly in the area that you're targeting, furniture, it seems to me that a critical part of actual design is manufacturing quality, right? And so the designers will actually have a lot of concern around what level of quality is being ensured to the end customer. How do you ensure that comfort level between designer and who's actually manufacturing that product?
We actually preempted that question because it's a typical one, really. The network of makers that we have are professional businesses. So in essence, their delivery of a product has to meet a very high standard of quality. Also, they're a much smaller group of people, normally 5 or 6 employees typically. So the quality coming out of those has a reputational aspect to it. With the design element, when a file is sent to us, we evaluate that file. So Josh and his team will run through what works and what doesn't work. And then we verify that by prototyping as well. So there is a quality control earlier on in the process before the product is onboarded fully to the platform, where we then ship that to local makers.
Yeah, and if I could just add to that, it's our job to make sure that we communicate the expected standards to makers through a sort of, if you like, a maker package, where we clearly outline the expected finish quality. So there's really no variance for the end product. Makers can get to the end product as they wish, as long as it looks as we've specified.
Just want to kind of build on that question. Like, how do you sort of handle capacity and scale? Like, what if somebody orders 1,000 chairs or 10,000 chairs from a local maker?
Yeah.
Like a local 5-person, 6-person shop won't be able to create those with the quality you desire, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, quite. And there is a filtering system there will be on our platform that differentiates makers who are in a garage, who can handle desks of 5 orders, or a big, much more professional business that can handle 50, 60, 100 desks. So if a customer clicks 50 desks, then they don't get shown the maker that can do 5.
And just kind of a follow-up, how about sort of mass customization? If I want to have something that's particularly unique on top of a design, do you guys allow that like a Shapeways kind of does for 3D printing?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and we're actually doing that already in-house at the moment. We're releasing some new embedded platforms onto the website that allow you to change and customize really freely. And at the moment, you can change up to 10 mil if you require on any of the designs.
Yeah, and there's also, we'd want to introduce, we're introducing social links between designer, maker, and customer. So, in fact, the customer can link directly to designer or maker according to a Creative Commons license to reach that customization. So if there was a closed source license on it, they would try and get in contact with the maker for their own, to see if they could come to an agreement for their own personalized piece.
So the concept of the local sourcing sounds rather lovely, but if I'm a business and I've got to get 100 chairs or 500 chairs, how does the cost of those products that I'm buying through this service compare to standard office supplies or IKEA or Flatpak?
Typically, there's about a 50% saving, actually, due to the fact that the logistics of mass production and distribution is just not negated completely. It's not there anymore. So there's a massive kind of cut in that business model that typically is with larger companies such as Office Supplies, .com kind of thing. They are designs, so it's a designer brand. So comparing ourselves to IKEA, for example, isn't a right fit. So we kind of sit in that middle spectrum where you're not getting a £5,000 desk, but you're getting a £1,000 desk, but it's substantially more than IKEA, and you're paying for much more of the local economical benefit in addition to the designer furniture and locally made. So there's lots of variables that add onto that as an attractive buying point.
Is there a sort of limit to the actual complexity of products to be made? I mean, one shop might have a CNC router or something, but if you want to do anything more than that, you need like all this post-processing stuff, and that's a very rare thing versus just having a shop bot or something. How do you guys deal with that? Are you locked into a certain level of complexity?
Yeah. At the moment, essentially, we're focusing very much on CNC routing as our main method of manufacturing. So the level of complexity is somewhat dictated by that at this point. As we mentioned, though, once we've really nailed down CNC routing and fully explored it and fully understand it, we will then We can then introduce 3D printing, laser cutting. There's the ability for us to introduce all those to the platform. Yeah.
Actually, it's worth adding as well, we have a sister website called Fab Hub, which is, just as it happened before OpenDesk, which is a directory of makers spread across all different technologies, laser cutting, 3D printing. So we've already got a really strong bedrock of a directory there that's already connected. 50,000 visits a month to that particular Fab Hub website, and that we own that. So and we're ready, kind of the foundations are set for us to introduce those new technologies.
As a customer, who is responsible if something goes wrong?
Yeah.
And this will be your last question.
So the liability lies with the maker, and that's set out in the expectations. Naturally, though, as a customer, as my job as head of marketing to make sure the customer experience is managed excellently, and you would call us if you had a problem, you wouldn't call the maker. So it's our responsibility to make sure quality and the delivery is excellent. The warranty issues are down to the maker, and they're agreed to that when they sign up to the platform. So it's very clear, but we'll handhold that whole process through, from start to beginning, start to end.
You take the credit card on your platform.
Yes. Yeah. So there's a responsibility on that aspect that I'm really conscious of, and managing a solid user experience through the whole touch points. Yeah.
Okay, guys, thank you. This is OpenDesk.